Hey guys, this is Mick with NPMO. I had a few questions from my last video, so I'm going to answer them here. The first question says, how do I apologize or reconcile the relationships that I've strained or lost because of my addiction? It's really simple, actually. You can send an email, you can send a text, you can call them on the phone, you can talk to them in person. You just need to do it in a place that's a little private where there's not a bunch of people there. And depending on how they like who it is and what the situation is, you just need to let your feelings out about what you did and why you're sorry and what you're doing to get better. And you don't need to receive any type of validation from them. It's more about you letting it out of it's like releasing the poison. You've got to let that out by just saying, hey, you know what? When this happened and I was going through this, I did some pretty shitty things to you, and I'm sorry I did these things. And it's not a justification. It's just an explanation for what's going on or why that happened. So it's pretty simple. A lot of people get scared about that, but you'd be surprised at the reactions you're going to get. Just be genuine. Don't expect anything out of it, and do it for yourself. Say sorry because you're actually sorry and that you feel bad for the things you did while you were acting out. The next question says, how do I know if someone can be trusted with my problems? Well, that's a good one. And the reality is you really have no idea. You know, that age-old saying about you can't trust anybody, nor trust no one, is sometimes it stands true. I would definitely not advise telling your coworkers anything. Depending on your relationship with your family, you may have no problems telling them, but essentially you're going to have to pick and choose and sort of have a gut feeling on who you think you should share this with. It's not something you tell everybody, and you don't have to either, so don't worry about that. The next question says, I've taken breaks, but every time I do, I seem to have trouble sleeping because I can't get pornographic imagery out of my mind, and I become excited at bedtime. How can I deal with this? Great question. So usually in the beginning of recovery, I want to say like the first week or two, it's hard to go to sleep. Your brain is rewiring and you're going through withdrawals and it just sucks. Something that you could try, I'm not going to tell you to go full blown with this, but a sleeping aid. You're going to go to sleep. So an hour before you're getting ready for bed, you can try taking some ZzzQuil or something else over the counter that will help you go to sleep, just to minimize and reduce the chances of you potentially trying to act out. And this, again, isn't like advice for long term. It's just for the first week or two. And I'm not even saying you need it every day. It's for those days where you're tossing and turning and you're afraid of acting out. So you can kind of just sort of put yourself to bed in a gentle manner. Or you can stay really busy with somebody else that'll just keep you up until you're tired and then go to sleep when you're just super exhausted. But like I said, the first week or two is when it's a little rough, but has been thousands of people who have made it, and so can you. Next question says, what if I open up and the person I opened up to mishandles my information or doesn't respect me anymore? I know that sounds scary. My first response or first thought to that would be that if you tell somebody and they treat you differently in a way that you are really upset with and you wish you didn't tell them, I got news for you. That person wasn't really your friend to begin with. That person wasn't really who you thought they were. Anybody who comes to somebody and is vulnerable and then is mistreated because they were vulnerable, those people, like, that's not a good person. You don't need to be around that kind of energy, especially during the initial stages of recovery. You have to be so mindful about the people you hang out with and the people you give your energy to, because you're healing. You're going through a process where you're trying to get better, and you can be sensitive. I know I was super sensitive. Small example, if I said I was going to meet a friend at the coffee shop at 4 o'clock and they didn't show up at 4 o'clock, I would be furious, even go as far as cutting that person off, and didn't even give them a chance because I was super sensitive and I was just like, oh, they don't respect me or blah, blah, blah. When I could have just picked up the phone and called and said, hey, Jimmy, why aren't you here? Or where are you? And that would have salvaged a relationship or stopped me from going in a bad place. So remember, you're ultra sensitive in the beginning, and that's okay. You're healing. Don't beat yourself up for being that way, okay? The last question says, I feel like I fried my brain with porn. Does it get better after I stop? Yes, It does get better, and you kind of did fry your brain. I don't know if that would be the exact terminology I would use, but you definitely damaged your brain and aspects of your brain. However, you can reverse that, and you can heal. There's nothing that can stop you from going back to the way you used to feel. There was once a time in your life where you were very happy and you were very excited about life, and porn was not in the picture. And then you got older and you stumbled into it, and then it just became a norm for you. So, yes, yeah, you did damage your brain a little bit, but it's reversible. It's good news. It's great news, actually. We are so fortunate with this particular disease or problem, or however you would like to address it, that it can be reversed. It's just really hard in the beginning because it's one of these things where you don't have to go for, okay, I'll use drugs as an example. You don't have to go buy it anywhere. You don't have to go to the store. You don't have to call your dealer. You don't have to go obtain this item. It's readily available, and you can essentially keep going and using it. You can't really overdose until you start to harm yourself with it, and like where you've touched yourself so much that you're sore down there. And for the guys that are heavily addicted out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and that sucks. However, your brain can heal, so can everything else. It just takes time, and you have to be patient with yourself. It took me almost 6 years to finally get rid of this, and that's not something I'm proud of in terms of the length, but I say it with pride now because it shows that I didn't give up. And there's a lot of you guys out there who just need a little TLC, a little bit of extra assistance to know that you can make it across the bridge. You can cross over, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. You just have to keep getting back up. No matter how many times you fall down or how many times you relapse, you just have to keep getting back up. You can never stop getting back up. And eventually one day you're just not going to fall down. So for anybody watching this video, my heart goes out to you, and I really want you to commend yourself for not giving up. You're here right now watching this video. It's not an accident, because you still care. You still want to fight. You still want to win this, and you can. I have full faith in you. If you need some more help, send a DM on Instagram to me at ENDPMO, and I'll see what I can do to help you out. For the rest of you guys, just don't give up. Keep trying, and things will get better, okay? Don't ever give up. Hang in there. Peace.